G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. This morning I'm coming to you from Parramatta Weir, and as you can see, the weir is flooded. It's overwhelmed with all the water which is coming down from the Parramatta River, and it's a river of brown just overwhelming the wharf here. And a lot of power, a lot of water, a lot of power, and there's been a massive amount of rain over the past couple of days. Anyway, whilst I've got you here, what we'll do is we'll do a 5 a.m. club. We'll do a book summary, and the book summary that I've chosen to take you through today is one by a famous author, Rob Kyosaki, and the book is entitled Why A Students Are Working for C Students. An interesting topic, but I thought that this would be an interesting and beautiful backdrop to spend this morning for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see what we can pick up from this book without getting washed away, of course, and blown away. So I'm out here in the elements, so I may have to cut it short depending on the rain and the wind. But let's see where it takes us. But Robert Kyosaki is one of those authors who talks about the importance of financial literacy, money literacy, learning how to save and how to spend and how to invest your money. And in his book here, he talks about the importance of your education and learning how to educate yourself, because he said that going to school, going to university will give you a general education, but it's what you do after that, the things you learn, the things you read, the people you hang out with, that are going to help you enhance your ability to harness the financial skills necessary to make the most of the opportunities that will invariably present themselves time and time again throughout your lives. So the important thing he talks about here is, his first point is to get into the right cash flow quadrant. It's important to have cash flow in order to be able to fund investments, and to have cash flow you need to basically be in a position where you spend less than what you earn, so that you've got money that you can put away in savings, and that you can use that money to invest and to put into ventures, to investments, to a mortgage, or something that's going to give you long-term asset value. So he breaks the opportunities into four little categories: E for employees, S for small business, B for big business, and I for investors. So he says at school, what we learn to do is we learn to get into the E and S quadrant, to be either an employee, to do as you're told and to do a job and to add some value, but from an employee perspective or from a business perspective. And basically there's a ceiling on how much you can earn as an employee and as a small business, because the educational system, according to the author, encourages you to be specialised, to do one thing at a time and to specialise on certain things. And most A students excel at specific subjects and are specialists at particular subjects, whereas the C student, and this is very, very interesting, the C student aren't really specialists, but tend to be generalists, and those who can see the bigger picture, and are the ones who are more likely to enter the B and the I quadrant, the business for big business and the I for an investor. So that's something which is really important. So when we look back at school, we need to understand that the people who are top of the class aren't necessarily the ones who are going to be top of industry or top of business. Because what happens is that in order to conform and become top of class and to be a specialist, those skills will at some point in time narrow and limit your abilities to grow and develop. Whereas if you're more of a generalist and you can see the big picture and you've got an energy and you've got a thirst for growth and development, and you may then move on to something bigger and better and end up running a big business or be an investor who generates wealth and freedom for yourself and your family and others around you. The second point that the author talks about here is that if you want to financially cripple your children, give them money. Give them money and make their life easy. Let me just turn the page here without losing my umbrella and dropping my phone. So if you want to financially cripple your children, if you want to turn your children into dependents, people who are going to be depending on you and depending on other people for work, for money, and for guidance all their lives, then give them money, make their lives easy, and what you're doing is you're forever crippling them and making their life so much more difficult than what it needs to be. It's a tough call because you need to be mean, to be keen, to be a good parent. And the author here says that if children at a young age have their lives which are far too easy or sheltered, and you shower them with gifts and money, and you teach them to be entitled, then what you're doing is you're basically crippling them in terms of their future. Because later in life, you're setting them up for potential financial failure. You're putting the brakes on their opportunities to grow and develop. And something that we need to consider as parents, that we need to push, encourage our children to move, to try things, to make mistakes in order to break the barriers and to flow freely and to enable them to grow, develop, and become the biggest and best versions they can of themselves. The other thing that the author talks about here is that the poor tend to look for advice, whereas the rich tend to focus on education and look for opportunities, and also teach their children the same. As we're saying here, the poor look for advice, and the poor are the ones who will tell their kids to look for advice and to look to others for guidance on how to live their future and how to grow and develop. Whereas what we're saying here is that the rich, rather than look for advice, will create their own opportunity, will create their own vice, and basically do whatever they need to do to make the most of the time and opportunities and resources they've got available to them. There's an umbrella there that seems to have gone adrift. But this here is the wharf. This is the Parramatta Wharf. And as you can see, the water is running freely over the wharf. And Parramatta is flooding, or the river is over, should I say the pier, or the weir is over flooded at the moment, just taking on the massive amounts of water that are coming down with this rain, which has been ongoing for the past couple of days at least, I'd say. So the author then encourages us, and there's a call to action, to don't look for people to tell you what to do. Develop a financial education mindset where you spend time investing in education, investing in your growth and development, where you look for OPE and OPM, other people's education or other people's experience and other people's money to use to be able to leverage your own skills. So when you're looking for advice or when you're talking to people about advice, always take the time to question people's motives for giving you that advice. Because a lot of people have kickbacks and something to gain from you. So always be very wary of the ones who are big on advice, because that advice usually is to feather their nest as opposed to feather yours. So you've got to ask yourself always one simple question: what do they look, or what will they be getting out of the advice that they're giving you? And that will help you understand where you stand and where they stand, and enable you to make better quality decisions about your financial future. So I think I'll leave it there for today. I've come down here, it's very invigorating. I guess a lot of people don't get an opportunity to see this amount of water coming down this part of the Parramatta River all that often. But it's a wonderful start to the day. It's Sunday, it's a bit breezy, so I'll look at finishing up. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's take some life hacks out of this book entitled, I've forgotten the title, and I don't want to turn the page in case I drop my book and I lose my umbrella. But it's Robert Kyosaki's book, which is all about financial education and what we need to do to become financially independent, and to learn to not give too much help to our children, but to guide them in a way which will enable them to make their own money, make their own mistakes, learn from others, but also learn to take risks and to learn to live with the consequences, the first, second and third level consequences, as well as the first, second and third level rewards of those risks as well. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, this exciting episode where I'm down here at the Parramatta Weir, where the water is rushing, the brown water is rushing, the rain is pouring, the wind is blowing, and I think that's about it. So take care, Sasagapao, and I look forward to chatting to you again shortly from a different location with a different message from Jim's 5am Club. Yasas, bye for now, Filakia, bye.